Good morning, veterans. I got asked about what underwriting was, and today we're going to take you through the process. So, the process starts with when you get pre approved. So, you can go back and, matter of fact, I'm going to try to link that video here, and you can see what it takes for the pre approval process. Once we get you pre approved, you go shopping with your realtor. That's where the fun is. This is why our pre approval letters are desktop underwritten. So you have buying power and you don't have to worry about if you're going to make enough to buy the house that you're in love with. At that point, you make an offer. The seller's agent reviews it. They agree to it. You guys pass around a PSA, that's a purchase and sales agreement. Everybody signs it. And then we're in mutual. Mutual is where they agree to sell a home. You agree to buy a home. And we start actually working the hardest to get this loan closed. The process passes from the realtor's team to our team. And to be fair, we all work. There's lots of people behind the scenes of this. We're all working towards the same goal of getting you into a home. But Amy, our senior processor, is absolutely the badass that takes care of it on our side. So I got to spend like an hour with her this morning, and she really dug into the process. And needless to say, Amy has lots of arms and is multitasking all the time. So I am absolutely going to stay out of her way more often now that I understand exactly what's going on in her piece of the puzzle. So once the PSA gets passed around, that's when our team issues initial disclosures. They check all the spelling. They make sure all the numbers match. They basically go through all the stuff that is going to become a permanent, a legal document, and make sure we start off on the right foot. One of the most important processes of the initial disclosures is the ITP, the intent to proceed. This not only lets the lender know, hey, we've got a home. We want to actually purchase this home. This is really what starts the process. The purchase and sales agreement is exactly what it is, but the ITP starts with the lender, with you buying a home. So before anything happens, after disclosures get sent, there's lots of things going on in the background. First, Amy is checking the income calculations. We have a worksheet she goes through. This is the third time our numbers get checked, so we are ensuring that our numbers are good to go for actual underwriting. Amy actually reviews the credit also. Because I pull your credit, I look at it, my boss reviews it, and then Amy also reviews it. So Amy is absolutely looking for credit pulls in the last 120 days. So, okay, credit tip. 120 days prior to you getting your credit pulled to buy a home, stop getting your credit pulled. Depending on the lender, they're going to need a letter of explanation on why you were getting your credit pulled. So it's just easiest not to. Also, we will need a letter of explanation for any late within the last year. And what the underwriting's looking for is you have solved the issue with whatever the late was. You fixed the account that you were late on. You make more money now. Whatever. Underwriting doesn't want to hear, oh, I forgot. But we're going to be solutions based, and you're going to present a answer on how you're not going to have another late payment. While all this stuff is happening prior it to going to initial underwriting, Amy's building a packet. She is building a file on you that is telling your story. It'll have a picture of your ID. It'll have the pertinent stuff if it's FHA or if it's VA. And it'll have all of those documents up front. So the underwriters will get it and they'll know hey, this is so-and-so. This is why they can buy a house. This is why they can buy a house, afford a house for the next 30 years. And this is why you should let them buy a home. It's really the 5 W's of home buying, this is what Amy does. My mind is still a little melting from how much stuff she has on her plate. The simple fact is the underwriter is not going to call you. So it's our job to tell your story. Now that the file is ready to go to underwriting, Amy packages it up and sends it to underwriting. I got asked what underwriting the other day is, and underwriting is a magical place in every loan company's heart where they calculate and assume risk for clients. They take your file, they run it through their process, and they figure out if we are good to do the loan there. Once the file comes back from the first underwriting, it comes back with conditions. So conditions are things that the underwriter wants to know. If you had a weird address, if your name is on another property, all this kind of stuff, underwriters are going to want to know. And some of the conditions require documents. Some of them require letters of explanations. But most of the time, even a clean file will come back with some conditions. Like the appraisal is a condition to make sure the house is the value that we think it's going to be, so we can go ahead and continue on with this purchase. But we'll get conditions, and depending on the amount of conditions and who the lender is, we will start firing the information back at them. And we're on it. To be honest, we're going to ask you about it. So don't be surprised when we ask for more documents. It's coming. So while Amy's tracking down conditions, she's also doing things like reviewing the title and escrow stuff. And she's tracking down the earnest money to make sure everything there is good. And going through the addendums while all of these things are happening, because conditions are something that she can ask for documents for to answer the questions, and then she has to wait like we have to wait. There's still 4 different things happening all at once. Also, when we come back with conditions, the earlier you have your insurance, your homeowner's insurance, so plug my guy Justin Crozier Insurance Company, best dude in Washington to take care of your home insurance. The sooner you have it, the sooner we can mark. That's usually a condition when it comes back from underwriting. The sooner we have it, the sooner we can get you a step closer to closing your loan. Once we have met all of those conditions, we send it back to final underwriting or closing underwriting. So this is where they actually prepare the closing documents for your loan. Now, that being said, this is still not a guaranteed thing. Your loan can still fail here. If you've got something like 13 or 14 overdrafts prior to closing underwriting, that's a problem. We may not have a loan anymore. You know what I mean? So you need to be aware that, like, when we ask you to not open new lines of credit or buy cars or do all the other stuff, it's for a reason, and it's so we can get to closing underwriting and not have any issues with new lines of credit or any other bills. It's just easier to save us the problem. Okay, so now that we're done with closing underwriting, the deal goes, depending on the lender, they send it to the escrow company and Amy, or again, lenders vary on their processes on this. But what happens is balancing. This is where Amy, the lender, and the escrow company all sit down and they finalize the documents on who pays what and how the parties split up the responsibility of paying for stuff. Once everything is balanced, then docs happens and you sign. So this is where you go in, you sign your name like 56 times in one day, and then you go home with a hand cramp and you wait for your keys to happen. While you're waiting on your keys to happen, what's happening is we take that packet of stuff you signed, we send it back to the funding department where it just came from, and they double check everything. All the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Everybody signed where they're at, and nothing got slipped into the packet for weirdness. This is like their self-check to make sure we are good to hook. Once everything has been determined, we are safe to go forward, they send it to the funding department. Now, notes, you need to know the funding department on on the West Coast where we're at, it stops at noon. So if they don't figure it out prior to 12, 1 o'clock is the deadline. They like to give themselves an hour. So most of the time, it won't get funded that day. Some lenders have exceptions that they'll make, but just know it should fund prior to noon. So at this point, we order the wire. The lender releases it to the escrow company, and the escrow company releases it to record to the county. What you need to know is that county, they record loan numbers in batches, so we can get a loan number as late as 4:30 at night. From that point on, the realtor can then go get you your keys, and then you're a homeowner. Congratulations. I hope this sheds some light on our process from mutual to close. A lot of you guys don't know what happens during that month of over communication from us, but this will give you a little bit of light on what's really going on, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Amy was throwing information at me so fast that I was absolutely drinking out of a water hose today, and I can't say it enough. My senior processor is absolutely a badass. She's got 8 arms, tracks lots of stuff, does 3 or 4 things at once. I am thoroughly impressed. I can't express the amount of respect I have for her and what she does. If you need anything VA, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm Byron Thomas, a veteran and a loan officer here at Clear Choice Mortgage. Follow me here for more mortgage tips. Peace.